A six-pack for the summer, overnight abs, instant bulk, and a cut physique. Some men are trying to get shredded quick.
I don't think there should be any stigma to self-improvement.
I have high expectations for myself. Why would you look basic when you can look amazing?
In the past, abs like that might take cutting carbs out year-round and never leaving the gym. But these guys, and many others, are using plastic surgery as their secret weapon.
There's no idea that a woman needs to have something wrong with her in order to do it. Well, is there any reason that that should be different for men?
Some people call it just abdominal etching, some people call it abdominal sculpting, some people call it 3D liposuction. There are a lot of different names for it, but the most important thing is you need to go to a doctor that does a lot of this, a doctor that's a member of the Aesthetic Society.
Fat is removed from one part of the body to make the body appear more muscular, or it's placed in another position to make that area look more muscular.
At what point were you like, I want to talk about this?
If I have this conviction that, you know, there's this norm out there that is unfair, why not be true to myself and let others know how I feel? If it fits me in the shoulders, then it's not gonna fit me in the waist.
Zach Michelson is a busy father of two who works in tech. He also has a modeling hobby. You may have seen him on the cover of romance novels like Billion Dollar Vow and One Hot Cowboy Wedding, or in underwear ads. He said he's found a way to take his body to the next level with less of a demand on himself.
Normally you think, oh, well, you're gonna have to get down to 5 or 6 or 7% body fat to, you know, to really have good abs.
Shredded.
Yeah, but that's not, you know, a comfortable place to stay.
And it's hard to maintain.
And it's hard to maintain, and it requires, you know, particular lifestyle.
What did you want to change about yourself, if anything?
I kind of got sold on this idea that we probably naturally have about the right amount of body fat if you're staying in shape. It just isn't necessarily in the places that you want it to be.
So just before his 40th birthday, Zach took a leap of faith and made an appointment with Dr. Douglas Steinbreck, who removed fat from Zach's midsection and sculpted his upper body.
There's an old-fashioned liposuction when your Aunt Susie had a little bit of fat that was removed from her tummy, but I don't throw that fat away. I put it up into the shoulders, up in the chest, up into the traps, or maybe in the glutes to make a more athletic final result.
Dr. Steinbreck says there's an added benefit to this technique. Banking fat cells into desired places directs future fat stores to those areas.
The carbs and the calories now will go through your bloodstream and find new areas, so you can have that ice cream and your shoulders get wider, you get more sexy up in your chest, and your traps pop, and it's less likely to go into those undesired areas. And it really, really works.
Well, when pool season rolls around, you're just kind of ready to go, even though you're living life like a normal person.
It's been 5 years since Zach had his procedure. He's been candid with his social media followers about his plastic surgery.
So we can see the body bank or lipocell transfer can make those areas pop.
Did you receive any blowback?
I did not receive any criticism or trolling or any of that. I did get quite a number of people who were interested, who were considering self-improvement for themselves.
Self-improvement is normal. We all want to get better. I think it's important to, as a physician, say that it's okay to get things done that affirm how you feel.
Hello everyone, my name is Chi.
For 37-year-old Chi Tang, if he wants a nip and a tuck, nothing can get in the way. Not family and friends.
A lot of my family members were stopping me like, you don't need this, you don't need that, but you know, it's not about you, it's about me.
And not any stereotype that plastic surgery isn't for men.
Who introduced the idea of cosmetic surgery to you? As I remember growing up, the one thing I was always told, like, men don't get cosmetic surgery, and that's changed now, right?
Instagram, Facebook, you know, you see so many like beautiful people, so I'm like, wait, what can I do, you know? So I started out with my nose, and then I move on to my eyes, and then, I don't know, like every year, I continue to do a tiny bit,
Tang lives and works in New York City, where he says nothing feels like too much.
I used to see people got the abdominal etching. Used to be like them. I would never do that.
But Tang is a power lifter. He says he couldn't sculpt the perfect body in the gym, so plastic surgery felt right.
I work out 4 to 7 times a week. I try any diet from keto to now I'm full vegan. No matter how hard I try, how many crunches I do, my ab will never pop out. So I think before COVID, I saw Instagram, and then I saw the doctor in Houston. He specialized in abdominal etching. Well, I would say I got my look from the gym, the kitchen, and the doctor.
Tang, who owns his own salon, says he dropped over 14 grand a few years ago to have abdominal liposuction, 360 chest, bicep, tricep, and back lipo.
And what was the type of look you were hoping for?
I want a six pack, but I don't think I got a six pack. I just got a lot leaner. So overall, I'm still pretty happy with the decision that I went. But one thing, I wish I didn't let him lipo my chest. The minute I got out from the surgery, when I touched my chest, it's like, whoa.
It went down.
It went down, so now when I do bench press, I have to lift a lot more to create the same volume. So that's one thing I regret.
If your goal is perfection, that's not a realistic goal. And so you have to sit down and understand what can and can't be done and the possible risks that come with those procedures before you make your final decision.
Ab etching or ab sculpting is a minimally invasive procedure, but it's typically done under anesthesia. And with any medical procedure, there are risks.
The procedure itself can come with the risk of infection, and that can lead that person to needing additional procedures within a course come with more harm, which is why it's so important that when you're talking to a provider or a doctor about these procedures, you want to make sure that that doctor is a board-certified cosmetic surgeon before you begin that discussion.
Across the jawline.
Zach's experience with ab etching was so positive that he says he's now more open to other cosmetic enhancements. Today, he's getting filler with Dr. Steinbrecht.
And this is the real magic, where just a little bit in that outer brow.
Your message for the world, it feels like not only is it okay for men to care about how they look, it's okay for them to do something about it.
And you don't need to be vain, right? You don't need to be obsessed with your looks. If I can make it better, then great. Society is changing.